Well, hair loss can be completely devastating, but there are some things you can do to prevent it and treat it. We sat down with a Bakersfield woman who dealt with the shock, embarrassment, and frustration for years.
I'm not only the hair club president, but I'm also a client.
You may have heard jokes over the years about the hair club for men, but losing your hair is no laughing matter.
For me, it was horrific.
In 2002, Beverly Langlois started to notice her hair falling out in one particular spot.
Hairdresser and everybody said, well, it was probably nerves because I had a brother passing away, so we just kind of rolled with that for a while, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
When Beverly first started to notice hair loss, the spot was about the size of a fingertip. Before long, it grew to the size of this chapstick.
Did do like the comb over, did a lot of hairspray, but it's just when you are used to running your hands through your hair, the hairspray, I mean, it didn't work.
Beverly says her bald spot became so bad that she didn't want to leave the house.
And being it was right there, it just really bothered me as a female.
Though you hear a lot more about men losing their hair loss affects a large percentage of women. Beverly was 50 when her thinning began, but Dr. Darshan Shah says there's no age restriction to it.
It can start in your 20s. I mean, we see patients sometimes that are in their teens that are balding already.
There are many things that cause balding, but Dr. Shah says most balding is genetically related. For those who are dealing with hair loss, the focus soon becomes less about why it's happening and more about how to change it. Dr. Shah tells us Rogaine and Propecia are proven to work, and both work a little differently. If you're already experiencing hair loss, Rogaine will help stop the process, though sometimes it's a bit too late. Propecia is shown to work in 50% of men who have tried it, and it actually helps grow new hair. Beverly handled it another way. She visited various dermatologists and received some shots, but nothing made a difference. Did they ever figure out why it was happening to you?
No. And that's where I was getting frustrated, because they weren't giving me any help.
Beverly suffered with hair loss for nearly a decade before she finally got some real help. She came to Butology in Central Bakersfield for a consultation for a hair transplant.
My husband said, do it. Just try it. I mean, it's worth it than being miserable for 9 years.
Now, if you're picturing a hair transplant like the noticeable hair plugs of yesteryear, Dr. Shah says that's a huge misconception.
Now the technology is much improved. We use microscopes and we use very high magnification to do it 1 or 2 hairs at a time. It's your actual hair, yeah, it's your hair from your body.
Most of the time, no one would ever notice a procedure had been done.
So I came in on the 22nd of June 2011, had it done, and I'm happy. I mean, I would recommend it to anybody, especially females.
Hair transplants can be very successful. I would say we have about 70–80% of the hair actually take, and then some of it, of course, will fall out and not grow back.
It can take a couple months to see results, but Beverly says she noticed a difference immediately.
It never fell out. It stayed.
Whether you're a woman or a man, there are many things you can do to help prevent hair loss. Here's a list of Dr. Shah's top 5. Number 1, keep chemicals away from your hair. Hair dyes and shampoos heavy in dyes can cause damage. 2, avoid traction alopecia or excessive pulling. This includes wearing helmets, ponytails, and curlers. Number 3, limit heat exposure. Try to avoid direct sunlight, curling irons, and flat irons. 4, increase your vitamin intake. Take a multivitamin every day and supplement that with omega-3, zinc, and iron. And lastly, live a healthy lifestyle. Dr. Shah says you should exercise, watch what you eat, and not smoke.
Bakersfield's a nice place to live,
yeah.
You know.
It's been nearly 2 years since Beverly's hair transplant, and she is enjoying life once again with a new sense of confidence.
I can go outside. I don't worry about the rain. I don't worry about the wind. I do this all the time. I do this constantly, all the time. I'm very happy, very happy.
I want to thank Beverly for volunteering to do this story. And I got a really close-up look at the top of her head. You cannot tell at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Hair transplant.
I mean, it looks completely natural. So,
yeah,
really good.